My number 6, getting us back on track here. All I can say is, thank God for me. It is Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q.
Go in.
So here's the thing about Q. I have fucking loved Schoolboy Q for forever. Like, I remember in very early high school going on DatPiff and listening to like the records that were like pre him like actually releasing major labels.
That's called a mixtape.
No, I know. I'm just talking about like
I know that was
that's
me.
Like I'm going on DatPiff and I don't know what mixtapes are.
You're the first person I know who actually was into Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, and Isaiah Rashad. For some reason,
I was
had his finger on that pulse.
Listen, I was
really
early. I was early in on TDE.
He worked with these two older kids at a bowling alley. And they got him into Isaiah Rashad.
They showed me like J-Rock in like 2009 and like all these guys. And I was like, oh no, this is the future of hip hop. But Schoolboy Q in particular, like, is one of those artists that I think and who knows? I mean, he's still relatively young. He still has like a whole career ahead of him. But I think that he is an artist that if you look at his career overall and like the potential that he had, I think that you would say overall it's a little bit of a disappointment, because I think that whenever he is on point, I think that he's one of the best rappers alive.
Yeah.
I think that his flow, I think that his lyricism that he has, he has like a hand in some of his production, but he likes to kind of work around with different things. But his choices that he makes as a rapper are always so
exactly. He's really, really unique. As an artist, he has certain flows that he loves to stick to that, like, I feel like only he does. Like one of his favorite things is an AAAA rhyme scheme where he just, and the cadence of is like
it's literally
like
that's literally what Yearn
Yearn
is.
101.
And Yearn is one of the best songs of the year.
He does that. He does it in like about half of his songs. He's so good at what he's good at. And I totally agree. Like if you were to predict, like 10 plus years ago, who would be the biggest rappers of today, you would say Schoolboy and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Schoolboy, I think for a while he's opened up about it, but he's been on Xanax, and that's one drug that kind of goes under the radar in terms of how badly it affects artists, but that's what killed Chance's fucking brain.
Yeah.
Like I think it took some time away from him.
I think so too. I'm really glad that he's back, because Blank Face LP is one of the best albums of the 2010s. I think that rap record is like incredible. It is borderline perfect in every way. And then he released Crash Talk in 2019. And here's the thing. I love Q. I forgot that album ever existed. Like, that just did like absolutely.
I barely remember that.
Whenever we were like anticipated Schoolboy Q had a new album come out, I was like, oh my God, this is his first album in like 10 years, completely like erasing that album even came out. And Blue Lips just feels like such a incredible return to form. It's funny. This album almost kind of reminds me a little bit of and this is going to be a weird cross-genre comparison here, so bear with me, but of Gami Gang a few years ago by Origami Angel.
Whoa.
Where it is just, it's a long album. It is meaty. Some might say it's shaggy, but it's very clear that the person at the helm just has so many fucking ideas, and they just have to have like an explosion of ideas and just to get it all out on the page. And I think that you can't listen to this album and think that Schoolboy Q left anything out there. Like, he is doing so many different interesting things. And if you look at the producers on this album, it is all over the place for different people. And I think that's one of the things that keeps it fresh, despite being a long rap album.
Yeah,
almost an hour. It's 56 minutes long. There is a little bit of fat here, but I also think like that's almost part of the charm. If Q is back, I want him to almost
loaded.
I almost want him to overstay his welcome than the opposite. I want him to be like, I've arrived. I am back in your lives.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything that you just said. It is shaggy, but also I don't mind it too much. It's really cool that he works with like varied producers, because this album in particular, this is actually my favorite album he's ever put out. The most striking thing to me about it is that these beats are so perfect for him. You would think he's like a Tyler that makes his own beats, because they just, even though they all sound different, they all work perfectly for what he's doing, because they have a really good mix of like classic, but then also like futuristic sounds. Yes. It's like druggy sounding, but also really sharp and angular, which is exactly what his flow is. Like it's grimy, but it also like it has a catchiness.
Yeah.
It matches him like to a T. And so what he's doing on top of all these beats is just perfect.
I also think until there was a little album from a guy named Kendrick Lamar that came out this year, this has my favorite beat switch in any song this year in Ohio.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
I'm gonna get my hose in Ohio. Like, it's just so fucking good. That entire track, that might be my favorite song on the entire album. That shit is so fucking good. Cooties is incredible. Back in Love, Pop, Blue Slides. Like, there's down the list, especially the front half of it is just like banger after banger after banger after banger.
Yeah, he did an awesome job with this. I really would recommend people, if you listen to it, give it another. Like, it's worth your time. And again, like you said, it kind of went under the radar compared to the numbers that it could have done, because he hasn't had hype behind him. The last time was when like that part came out.
Yeah,
which is a million years ago.
Do you think he's like back or?
I think so.
He talks about in the album a good amount that he like has a lot of shit going on. Like, he's got a family, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you reach a part in your life where you've got kids and like an estate to take care of, and
it's just crazy, man. Like, if you go back to it, like, Schoolboy Q was part of Black Hippy before Kendrick was. Like, it was one of those things like in the ground floor of all of this, and then, you know, drugs and people in your lives and everything else like that kind of just can take your lives different directions. So I'm just happy that he's back, because I really think that it could have gone the other way.
Did you shout out Blue Slides?
Yeah.
Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q.
Black Hippy album 2025. Can we manifest that in the universe?
That'd be insane.
It might be too powerful.
That was your 6.
Yeah, it's Hunter's 6 and Drew's 7.